Today we're going on a road trip to Billings, Montana, and on the way we're going to have a little Q&A.
It's a Sunday and I feel alright for the first time. It's a Sunday and I feel alright for the first time.
So today what we're gonna do is go ahead and answer some questions that we received when we first started telling people we're gonna full-time RV, and even questions we still get today about full-time RVing or travel therapy.
Yeah.
And so with each little stop along the road trip, we'll answer another question, and hopefully you guys glean some wisdom from it, or at least find it funny, or
Something.
gain some type of knowledge from it. We're here at the gas station. We're gonna gas up the Adventure Prius for this road trip.
That was fast. Only took $11.
It was half. We still had half a tank.
Yeah.
First question that we got a lot from when we had the big Christmas house tour, and but while we were renovating the RV, was, are we going to have TV? Will you have a TV?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that, surprisingly.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people value TV.
I guess so.
And at the time of the Christmas tour, we did not have a TV mounted up in our RV. But to answer the question, yes, we do have TV. And so we actually have our TV mounted above kind of our driver and passenger seat.
And then we also have one back in the bedroom, a super little tiny one that my uncle had, and they gave it to us as an extra, and it fit in there perfect. So honestly, we don't use that one in the bedroom very often, but the one in the living room is nice and big, and it's fun to watch YouTube on it, or to catch the news. So
Yeah, we never did any videos on how we installed the TV mount in the two places, but I'll just kind of roll some footage of what we have. They're all kind of hinge designs. The one, we actually hooked the TV mount on the inside of the old TV box. And so when we originally bought Big Betty, there was a big box TV in there. And then even in the back, there was a big box TV, or a little box TV. And that's why there was kind of that plywood there. But we just got some of your typical TV mounts off Amazon, and just kind of figured out a way to get it in there and then let that swinging arm do the work. And it works out really perfect, because then we can move the TV out of the way, and we have a huge storage bin where we kind of keep some of our electronics up there tucked out of the way.
yeah.
Have a gift. Oh, it landed on you. That's so crazy.
Question number 2 is if we have heat and air conditioning in our RV. We've gotten that question a lot, actually, and the answer is yes. We do have a gas heater in our RV that runs off of propane, and then we reinforce that with 2 electric heaters just to keep from using too much propane. However, the electric heaters shoot the electric bill up. So if you're paying for your electric, you'll also want to keep that in mind and try to get a balance of propane and electric cost.
But what's nice is that if you're staying in an RV park that doesn't meter your electric,
You don't have to pay for
then
it.
don't waste your gas. Just use those little bitty electric heaters, especially if you have a smaller RV.
Yeah. And then we also do have one AC unit. The only bummer about it is that it's not temperature controlled. So we just have knobs and
Yeah, it's not a thermostat, and so like our furnace that heats our RV, that's off a thermostat, so that'll kick on when it needs to. But this one's just a typical camper AC. You see this a lot in travel trailers, but you just have a knob that gives you like 3 options. One's like just a simple fan, there's like a low cool option, and then a high cool option. And so we really don't even use our air conditioner that much.
Yeah, we haven't used it yet.
No, we just really, we have so many windows, we just open up the windows and we get a nice cross breeze in there. We have a fan we'll occasionally plug in and just kind of get some air moving. That's kind of the lifesaver, really. When you're going to use your air conditioner is when you're in some really hot summer months, or when you come back to the RV and everything's been a little bit closed up, just to knock down that initial heat wave that you feel when you walk in, like when we get off work.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, on to the next destination and the next question.
So nice today. Just tip for you. Today was supposed to be crappy and we were just gonna drive, but now it's beautiful and we're driving, so I guess it's a win.
Yeah, we had planned to go to the Hiawatha Trail to do some bike riding, but then we saw that there was going to be storms, it was going to rain, and so we were like, no, we won't go. We'll go do some other things and visit Megan's uncle in Billings, and which is a good little drive, and just do this Q&A. But now it's like beautiful, just gorgeous this morning.
It's amazing.
I think there is still storms for this evening, but we'll see. So question number 3, do we drive our motorhome as our main commuter? And we got this question in many different forms. We would ask like, oh, is your motorhome out in the parking lot? Did you bring it to school? Did you drive it to the hospital? And the answer is no.
No.
No, the Big Betty is Big Betty for a reason. She's 32 foot long. I'm just this big boxy vehicle, and you know, driving it as your everyday commuter is just a no-go.
No, once everything is set up, it's set up for good, and it would be too much of a process to pack everything up anytime we wanted to go somewhere.
Right, so we park it at our campsites and get it all set up, and then basically just leave it and then commute with our bikes or our Adventure Prius that we're driving today.
Since Big Betty is so stationary and we like going and exploring places, we have talked about, you know, what would our perfect adventure vehicle look like. Right now we're using our Prius and it's been great, but we've talked about, you know, oh, how fun would it be to have an off-road vehicle that we can maybe set up kind of like a camper, and we could still get back in those places so that we didn't have to move Big Betty anytime we wanted to go to a new camp spot or see and be able to stay there and sleep over and have food and stuff like that. So we've discussed adventure vehicles, but right now the Prius is what we're using.
And I think why we don't travel around in Big Betty as much is because our job is for 3-month contracts. And so once you're in a place for a couple weeks, I mean, you really make it homey and you got junk everywhere. And then to put it into ride mode, like our video showed, it takes a big process to clean all that up, because you don't want things laying on the counter, on the kitchen counter, because it's all going to end up on the floor broken. And so usually for us, we have taken the Big Betty out on some camping trips, but usually it needs to be like a 2-nighter to be willing to move it, or going to somewhere like a nice national park.
Yeah.
That was question 3. On to question 4. So question number 4 is, do you feel like you're camping all the time? And we would say no. That once we've kind of gotten used to the RV, and especially when it's parked and we're kind of in our spot, doesn't feel like camping at all. We have all that we need.
Yep, it feels like normal life, just in a smaller space.
Smaller space, less amount of things, but we have all the important things that we want.
Right, yeah, we still have everything that we would have had at our house, and to be quite honest, it's felt pretty normal.
Yeah, it's almost kind of freeing because you can't have clutter in there, and so you have to keep it all cleaned up, and to clean up 200 square feet is like boom, and it's clean and nice and tidy, and that feels nice.
So we're about 30 miles out from Billings, Montana, and it's about 8 o'clock. It's still light outside, which is great. The days are super long here, so it doesn't feel so late to us. But we are going to be having a late dinner with my uncle. He is a psychiatrist who does contract work here in Billings, Montana. And since he was in town, we decided we had to go and visit for the weekend. So we're almost there, and we're going to grab dinner with him. And it's going to be nice. It'll be like it'll be a piece of home, and we're excited to see him.
Well, last night was great to see Uncle Abe and get to talk with him and just have a little piece of home. It kind of felt surreal at moments just to get to be there with someone we knew.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it. It was a great dinner at Jake's here in Billings, Montana. And we stayed and talked for a very long time. We probably kept Abe up way too long. So since it was so late and it was about a 45-minute to an hour drive out to some free camp spots, we decided, well, let's just go ahead and grab a hotel. So that's where we're at right now. What we're going to do now is we're going to run by Starbucks and take advantage of being close to a Starbucks, get some coffee, get a little bit of breakfast, and then later on we're going to meet Abe for lunch, kind of have our final goodbye and with him, and then maybe if we have a little bit more time, go do some mountain biking here close to Billings before we make the trip back home, which is about a 6-hour drive.
Look what we got! Yo! There's no Starbucks in where we're at, and all the coffee shops are like these tiny little buildings that are gated, and it's just a really weird way to do coffee. So we decided we had to get Starbucks when we saw one.
Yep, while we're in town.
Thanks to our travel company, Quantum, because they sent us a gift card before we took our National Physical Therapy exam, just as a little encouragement. So that was sweet, and
Finally got to use that.
they helped to buy these. Thanks.
So question number 5 that we get a lot, we got this more of when we told everyone we're going to start full-time RVing for travel therapy, is where are you going to shower? You know, because when they think of RVing, you think of camping, and you think of having to use the shower house or some alternative. And so we got that question, or when we first meet people, they ask, you know, where do you shower at? And that one's pretty simple for us because we have a shower in our RV.
Yep, so we can use that. The biggest issue that you have with using the RV shower is that if you don't have an instant water heater, you run out of hot water. So we do have to turn the knobs on and off just to conserve water if we want to keep it hot the whole time. But other than that, it works out pretty great, especially if you're hooked up to the, If you're hooked up to the sewer, you don't have to worry about your tanks filling up or anything like that. So it's pretty normal.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. And if you haven't seen our RV renovation of our shower, I'll link to it up here. Click on that. It was a dramatic turnaround.
Yeah.
It's beautiful now.
Yeah.
Alrighty, on to
Brunch with Abe. Hey guys, so we're stopped again on the side of the highway. And our next question is, do we have internet? And we do. We use a company called Visible. It's a third-party provider of internet services through Verizon's network.
Yeah, so it's a cell phone coverage, and so it's a data plan. Like some people have Verizon Jetpacks. We have a Visible telephone plan, really, cell phone plan. And what happens is we use Megan's old iPhone, which we can hotspot from. So we use that cell phone to hotspot from, and we can connect 5 devices on an iPhone. And we get unlimited internet through that. And so it's been pretty good. Occasionally it'll kick us off, and we'll have to kind of turn off the hotspot and return it on. But we do all of our YouTube uploading through it, and it seems to do okay. We live stream videos and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's been great. We have packed this Prius, I think, as full as it can get. It's super windy again today, so it seems like every single travel day we ever have is windy, which just gives me so much anxiety. But we had the bikes on the back of the car, and we decided on this drive back home that we're going to take the bikes off and try and fit them in here, just so that we can be a little bit more aerodynamic and get better gas mileage and not get pushed around so much. So they actually fit. I mean, this Prius impresses us. So another question we often get is, how do we cook in our small kitchen? And if it's similar to normal home cooking. And really, we haven't had much of a problem. When we put in our butcher block countertops, Ryan cut out some butcher block inserts for our sink. And so we usually have at least one of those in while we're cooking, so that there's more space to prepare food.
That adds a lot of space. And then right behind where our kitchen countertop is our dinette. And so sometimes we use that as a little bit of prep space.
Some other tools we use in the kitchen is a toaster oven, an Instant Pot. We use our stovetop all of the time, and we actually use our RV oven. I've used it a couple times, and it's worked.
It does okay, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes the toaster oven's just easier.
Yeah. So there is a little getting used to, but it's definitely worked out just fine, and we're still able to make yummy meals.
Yeah. Another question that we get often is, do we travel with any pets, or are we considering traveling with any pets? We don't travel with any pets, so we don't have any dogs or cats or even a goldfish. We have never owned any as a married couple, and we've been married for almost 3 years now. We've definitely considered getting a dog. We think that would be a lot of fun, but we're not sure yet. We find the puppies really cute.
They're very cute, but they're added responsibility, and it would just complicate going home or traveling on weekends. However, you have the benefit of having a pal to hang around with you. So we're kind of in the middle right now.
Yeah. So we're definitely not against it. You never know. In the future, you might see us with a new puppy. Well, thank you guys for watching our road trip Q&A. We hope you enjoyed some of our answers to those many asked questions. If you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button, hit our subscribe button to support us, and as always, please comment down below. We love reading those comments and interacting with our subscribers, you guys. And let us know if there's any other great places here in Montana that we need to check out down in the comments. Until next time, see ya.